a movie about a mother's unconditional love for her son, and shit. We watched Hellitosis, The Legend of Stank Mouth. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. Joining me today on this fine, what is today? November 29th is recording date. So the very end of November, about to kick off our Christmas month. And the man who loves Christmas more than anybody else I know, my co-host, my partner, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Hey man, I had a really good Thanksgiving weekend. I hope all the Moon Goons did as well, staying safe, all the good stuff. We didn't have any immediate family over. We just straight up did it straight up in the house, which honestly was kind of nice. It wasn't too bad. Didn't have the stress or rigmarole of running around. Man, we should have COVID every year.
Yeah, ours was very low key too. Very low key. And I kind of liked it. It was nice. Despite COVID may be the death of like the American like holiday get together. just everybody realize how nice it is to be at home alone for a while. I don't know.
For some people, they're realizing that's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
It's not bad.
Yeah, man. But it's Thanksgiving weekend, like you said. Christmas is right around the corner, and I think you may have picked out the most disgusting, vile, ridiculous. Good God, I'm questioning my life choices movie.
Yeah.
Before we start the fun stuff that I love. So I don't know why you're twisting the knife in my back, man. What's going on?
Well, first of all, this movie's been in my queue. It's been on my list for like 2 years now. I've known about it for a while, and I've been wanting to do it a long time ago, but I kind of forgot about it. It got lost in the shuffle. And then coming up this week, I was like,
about this movie.
Man, oh my God, we have to do this. I can't believe we've gone this long and haven't done it. We have to do this. And like I said, it was a holiday week, a lot going on. It's a shorter movie, so it's not as long. So I was able to kind of get it in a little easier than a regular movie. And before we start our Christmas themed one, so it's kind of getting in there at the end. Like I said, what the movie is, well, you've heard the intro, I'm sure already, but the movie is Hellitosis. Not Hellitosis, it's Hellitosis, The Legend of Stank Mouth. So just by the title alone, you might get an idea where this is going.
Like when I saw that, I was like, you're just kicking me in the nuts. And then I watched the trailer, and I'm like, oh, you're really kicking me in the nuts, aren't you?
Well, I told you guys last week.
I think I texted you while I was watching it, like, why do you hate me?
I believe I said last week at the end of last week's episode that we were going back to the roots with our show here. This is like when we talk about the worst of worst, and this is about as low as you can get. So get ready for a literal shit show, guys. A literal shit show. Hellitosis was released in October of 2017. You can find it on Amazon Prime where it's free. And Tubi, I believe. And maybe even YouTube might have the full version. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it doesn't matter because if Prime and Tubi, you can watch it for free anyway. It's written and directed by Rob Mulligan, who also does is the voice of the guy, I guess. We'll get there.
I don't think he actually has a name.
No, he doesn't. The cast, otherwise, no one you've ever fucking heard of in this movie, except for Lloyd Kaufman, who makes a cameo appearance near the end of it as a guy named Jeremiah. That's it. Nobody else is even worth talking about, so we're going to move on. We're going to go straight.
So the guy's name who wrote this was Robert Mulligan?
Yes.
Maybe he should take a tip from his last name and have a do-over for this fucking movie.
All right, guys, get ready for just hold on to your butts. We open with these aerial shots of like the New Mexico desert, while text is shown that says, it's a joke. It's saying this movie is based on true events, and that all characters have been made in the likeness of real people. So they're going that route. We roll the title card, and we cut to this real estate agent, Michelle, who's showing a couple named Ronnie and Sandy this large rundown house in like this New Mexican suburb somewhere. Like it's on the hill. You can see other houses down below it in the background. When they get out of Michelle's car, when they get out of the car and start walking to the house, it suddenly looks like they're in some kind of like Mad Max-esque post-apocalyptic world dystopia. Like it's a really weird looking shot. It looks like a completely different movie than what we're about to get.
And they did that shit a lot, man. They did like different lighting techniques for different, moments in the movie that just didn't make any goddamn sense.
No. Michelle does really does hammer home the point that this house is a fixer-upper. It needs some work, but it's a great buy for the price and blah, blah, blah. So they go inside, and immediately, as soon as they walk in, Sandy and Ronnie comment on how the house smells like shit. It's just a horrible smell.
Oof. Smells like fart. Smells like a dead hooker queefed on a tuna melt.
Well, I was gonna get that one later. That one comes later. And I had that in my notes later. That's one of the lines in the movie. Yeah.
Don't worry. There's about 20 more lines that try and spit out during this whole thing. It's like they're really hammering home that it stinks, and it's like, okay, we fucking get it. God damn it. Just fuck. Yeah, it stinks. Maybe say it once or twice more, but the whole fucking movie, boy, it stinks like poo-poo in here.
On that cue, Jay, Michelle's competitor real estate agent, comes down the stairs with his quote-unquote client, Ashley, and you can tell these two just finished banging upstairs because he's tucking his shirt in, zipping up his pants as he comes down.
And honestly, Ashley, I mean, the actors and actresses in this movie are just relatively normal people.
Yeah.
That's not like any, but for some reason, Ashley, kind of short and thick, kind of doing it for me.
Yeah, I agree. Out of this cast, she's definitely of the three girls in this movie, she's definitely the best looking in my opinion too. She's not like hot by means, but she's got that like just a nice cuteness to her. It's like she's okay.
With the right amount of stickiness, yeah.
Yeah. Jay recognizes Ronnie as some kind of like music producer or like some radio host or something. And he starts pitching him his song idea he's been working on, which goes a little something like this. He goes, boom, boom. Let me get that dick up in your booty. Wop, 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 woo. Let me get that dick up in your booty. Wop, wop, whoop, whoop. And like, that's his song. That's the song. Let me get that dick up on your booty. Wop, 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 boom, 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 chicka, boom. And for some reason, I don't know why, I found it a little funny and I chuckled a little bit.
Oh my God. Are you sure you're not still drunk from Thanksgiving?
Maybe. I don't know. It was a few days ago when I wrote these notes, so maybe I was. Michelle interrupts him, all pissed off that he's even here in the first place because this is her list and he's trying to steal it from her. And the two of them start to bicker back and forth. Ronnie steps up and stops him saying, hey, why are they arguing over this smelly piece of shit house? And Sandy mentions, but Sandy, his wife, Ronnie's wife, says, if you can get past the smell, this house isn't that bad. There's some potential here. And at this point, a large windstorm starts to roll in, to which everyone decides it's better to just stay inside and hunker down in the house and wait out the storm.
Now, I've never been in California or New Mexico or the desert, and there's like sandstorms or windstorms or Santa Ana wind, so I don't know how bad they are to keep me in. Like, did they get bad enough to keep you inside? You lived in the desert for a while.
Yeah, when I was in Arizona, I was stationed out in Arizona. Yeah, I mean, you get some bad winds because it's just these low, in between the mountains, like it's just plains and dust and dig up. And I saw an occasional actual little like dust devil, like little mini tornado dust devils. Or it's not really a tornado, that's over-exaggerated, but they're kind of cool looking. So, I mean, yeah, the wind can get heavy and bad, but I would never say it's that bad that you can't, like, just go in your car and, like, I don't know, drive home. It's not a fucking typhoon or a hurricane. It's bad wind. I'm glad you brought this because I was going to comment on it, too. It was like, it really is nothing that would literally keep you inside. Like you could get to your car and you could probably drive home and be safe. I mean, it's not like it's not tornado-esque winds. It's just heavy winds. So it's kind of a lame premise to keep them in the house. I was very disappointed in that. So Michelle takes Ronnie and Sandy on a tour of the house. We're like, well, we're stuck here. Might as well show you the house anyway. So come follow me. So they go off. Jay tells Ashley, hey, I'll be right back. He bolts upstairs, leaving Ashley alone. But nothing comes up because he quickly comes back down with this bottle of booze, like whiskey or something. And
like Jack Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, and at that point, Ashley mentions that, hey, I don't have cell phone service up here. So there's that. So they've established that now. There's also no cell phone service here either. And so the two of them head into the kitchen to bust open the booze and start drinking. We cut to Michelle showing Ronnie and Sandy around the house. Ronnie keeps complaining about the smell, and it smells like a fart threw up. And Michelle keeps trying to point out all the good things like the size, the square footage, and how the house is so cheap. It's just it's a steal of a deal.
And while this is going on, he's showing around the house. There's literal shit smears.
Yes.
On the wall.
Yeah, like almost
literal shit smears in every room, and there's trash bags hanging up on the wall, I guess, to cover up like broken wall or things. It's an absolute fucking dump.
The place would be condemned. It would literally be. It would be a condemned, probably just tear it down house at this point in real life.
Just from the amount of feces that are lined the wall, and he never say anything about it.
I had to know that later at some point, but they complain about the house and how it smells, but no one complains about the copious amount of little shit smeared on all the walls. And like everywhere, like,
the house.
No one's like, why is there shit on the walls here? And it's like fresh shit too. Or like people like, okay, there's someone's been here recently, whether it's hobos squatting or delinquent kids or drug. Nobody comments on the fact that there's shit all over the walls here. It's never mentioned, just the smell. Anyway, while they're talking, we get these quick POV shots of somebody watching them or spying on them like through holes from behind the walls. Looking through like these holes in the wall. Meanwhile, Jay and Ashley are in the kitchen. And she's like, hey, you know what? We can keep this little bang fest thing, our little bang fest we have going. That's fine. But, I really need you to show me some place, like real place I can actually afford to move into and want to move into. And he's like, yeah, I get it. I got the perfect place for you. I'll show you tomorrow. And so they go back to drinking. And Ashley's like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. And Jay escorts her. He takes her to the bathroom himself. He's like, I'll show you where it is. I'll lead you there. And then he goes back to the kitchen to drink by himself. And when he gets back into the kitchen, we see like at this point you can notice like there's it closes in that the mouth of the bottle, like the of the whiskey bottle, the bourbon bottle, whatever, the lip of it, the mouth of it is now like got shit on it. Like there's shit all smeared all over the lip of the bottle.
Just kissed with shit.
Yeah. And he doesn't notice this for some dumbass reason. I don't know how, but he picks it up, doesn't notice it, pours himself a drink, downs it, and then he's like, oh my God, it tastes like shit. Blah, blah, blah. And he looks up the bottle, looks at it, and sees the shit on it, and then like just places it back down on the counter. And he's like, whatever. Michelle, Ronnie, and Sandy, they're still taking the tour. He's still complaining about the smell while she, continues to try to sell him the house. So in the kitchen now, Jay starts going through all the cabinets, which we see are filled with canned food and bottles of mouthwash.
Yeah, it's corn. It's only corn. So
it's
again,
all corn.
Another shit-related joke.
Yeah.
Just cans of corn everywhere and bottles of mouthwash. Some open, some empty, some full, and as well as breath mints.
Yeah, the breath mints come in later, but yeah, there's like those little peppermint mints that you get like your doctor's office or wherever. Like they're all over the place too.
Little candy peppermints.
Yeah, little candy peppermints. He also finds some plastic cups which he takes and sets out, and he goes out to like this bar. It's the bar in the house, and he sets them out and starts pouring drinks for everybody else. And then at that point, the others, Sandy, Michelle, and Ronnie, they all come back. We cut to Ashley sitting on the toilet as someone spies on her from an overhead vent. And they point out, they make sure to show you, like, she takes a giant shit when she stands. You see this giant turd in the toilet.
Digital log.
It's huge.
Ugh.
And I don't show you wipes once. That's a multiple wiper turd right there. But she wipes one time and leaves.
It's the size of her goddamn thigh.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so funny because when it flushes, it just goes around perfectly and just goes boop, just disappears. Digital turd.
So just and so she leaves the bathroom in the hallway. A roll of toilet paper rolls past her, actually rolls over her foot, and she thinks it's Jay messing with her. She follows the trail of toilet paper, which also happens to be used toilet paper because there's shit all over it. And she looks up to see the top of someone's head peek out from a door at the end of the hallway and then duck back out of sight. And the head, when you see it and duck back away, is accompanied by fart noises. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Constant.
Ashley goes into the room where she saw the head, and she gets jumped from behind and knocked unconscious by a large, chubby, hairy man who is just covered in shit. Just
covered in
smeared
shit. Like
all over him. It's just covered in shit.
On his shoulders.
Yeah.
Covered in shit with his wild, long black hair. It kind of reminds me of like the wild Samoan wrestlers from the 80s. Like the hairstyle.
Yeah, it's just this crazy, wavy, long hair like down to his shoulders. It's at this point, it's hiding his face. You can't really see him. You just see his body at this point.
And his body then, and his emotions, which come up later, of course, remind me of Kamala. I don't know if you remember Kamala.
Of course I remember Kamala.
The head shrinker. He was again a professional wrestler. He painted his face all crazy and slapped his belly.
He was a voodoo guy. Yeah, or the witch. He was a witch doctor or something. He was Kamala. Yeah.
From deepest, darkest Africa.
Yeah, that's right. Deepest, darkest Africa.
So racist. Wouldn't realize he was like a truck driver from Alabama.
So, where was I? We go back to the others hanging out there and drinking. Michelle's getting blitzed. She goes from sober to like drunk off her ass like in an instant. It's really unbelievable, really fast. Like everybody else is pretty much fine, and she is just gone.
Now I've been looking for. I've worked with a real estate agent before, and I've gone to open houses, and every once in a while they do have someone who's serving wine or something like that. But this is like down and dirty. Let's get fucked up. Shots of whiskey.
This is like college party. Yeah, this is like college sorority girl party. I was just doing shots.
And it's the real estate agent who's getting hammered. It should be the other way around.
It should be.
Your client's pretty drunk, you know?
Yeah, but this girl, just like I said, she just will not stop doing those shots. It's crazy.
I kind of love it.
So, I lost my space in my notes, so hold on a second.
That's good filler right there.
Yeah, so anyway, Jay mentions that Ashley's been gone a while. And so drunk ass Michelle's like, hey, I have to go piss. I'll go check on her. And she leaves. She goes off. We cut to Ashley waking up, tied up to a chair with a pair of whitey tighties shoved into her mouth as a gag. The shit-covered man pops up next to her. And now, for the first time, we can really see his face in all of its glory. And oh boy, let me tell you, this is a sight to behold. For he literally has a potty mouth. He has an ass for a mouth, complete with ass cheeks. And when he talks in farts. So every time it just, yeah. It's so visually ridiculous, but actually looks pretty decent for such a low budget film.
For the effect of an arse face, it's not too bad. No. I will give it credit.
It's surprisingly good for this movie.
Looks like a tiny little butthole for a mouth.
Yeah. And they complete with like a shit trail that dribbles out of his mouth and down what would be his chin. Like there's always like shit right around his anal mouth opening, and it's like shit right down his chin. So ass face starts popping up around the room, like left side, right side. He's popping up around and farting from his mouth. At one point, he even pops like underneath her chair, looking up at her, and farts from his mouth and disappears from sight again. And then Assface pops up in front of Ashley. She starts trying to scream. This upsets Assface, who just goes on a face farting spree, just like, he gets all upset, he's farting all over the place. And then he raises a fist to punch Ashley, but we cut back to Michelle, who rejoins the others before we get to see what Assface does. And Michelle tells Jay that she didn't see Ashley anywhere, and just goes back to drinking at that point. So we go right back to Ashley.
And then they have like the same scene again.
Yeah.
They have the same, it's like all of a sudden she's waking up going, and we just did that. We just did that.
Yeah.
And now she's waking up again going, oh no, I'm tied up. But they didn't do the whole fart ceremony thing again.
Yeah. So
and they just went right to Assface getting in her face.
Yes. And this time he's behind, at one point he's behind her. He gets behind her and he starts choking her from behind, and then just starts giving these like downward, like axe handle hammer fists to her face. Like, it's kind of brutal looking. He's just wailing on her from behind in her face.
Are you saying it was brutal looking? That looked like the most pussy-ass forearms I've ever seen anyone throw. I mean, these are the weakest looking fucking blows I've ever seen. It is not brutal looking. It's a fucking joke.
All right, fine. If you think that, I don't remember. I'm just saying it would be brutal if it happened in real life. Fine, whatever.
It looks like shit.
So with each hammer fist, every time he throws a hammer fist or he lands one, it's accompanied by farting sounds. Assface beats Ashley to death, then pulls the underwear out of Ashley's mouth, which we see is filthy and is shit covered, and then puts them on himself, and like snaps his waistband, and that's the scene. We go back to the others. They all hear the stumping sound all of a sudden from somewhere else in the house. They hear the stumping sound, and Jay says that he's gonna go look for Ashley himself, and he leaves. Michelle just gets drunker and drunker, just taking all those shots all the time.
She's like falling over. She's like fucking up her sentences. She can barely function.
Yeah. And at this point, like I said, these are pretty much just regular people, but the acting is fucking terrible. Sandy and Michelle are fucking awful. Ronnie is bad too. But honestly, Jay and Ashley are probably two of the better people in this movie, but still, I mean, barely passable at that, but it's bad. It's really bad. Ronnie and Sandy help Michelle to some room so Michelle can sleep off her drunkenness.
Here, sleep on this floor of fucking garbage.
Yes!
Thanks, guys. I love you.
I'm like, yeah, instead of putting her on a bed or a couch, she just lays down in a pile of dirty fucking clothes. This is mountain of dirty hobo clothes, and she just curls up in that like a fucking raccoon or something. I don't know.
We've already established that there's shit all over, like smeared. It's you can see it everywhere. They keep talking about how disgusting the place smells, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll just curl up on the floor here."
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's disgusting. And this was like, why would anybody fucking lay down? It's a shit covered house. At this point, just go out to your car and sleep in your back seat. Like that's the play in this position here, you know.
But Marshall, the wind.
That's
the,
right.
The
wind, fuck! I forgot. The wind is so strong that they can't walk out. God damn it. So Ryan and Sandy, they turn off the lights, leave Michelle alone to sleep. We go back to Jay, who's wandering around looking for Ashley while being spied on through the wall by Assface. He finds some blood on the floor. He's like, oh shit, and he goes back to get the other two. He tells them, like, hey guys, I found this blood smear. But of course, like every fucking horror movie ever, Ronnie and Sandy just tell Jay that, like, oh, Ashley's just probably fucking with you. She's probably, you know, upset with you for, I don't know, because you didn't fuck her good enough, and she's playing a prank on you. But eventually, Jay gets Ronnie and Sandy to come with him, and they enter the room where Ashley was killed, and they find the chair she was tied to, but no signs of her. And Ronnie tells Jay that he needs to just realize that she probably just left. She's probably just, you know, left the house and just went home, even though the windstorm's so bad. But yeah, she left now. So now she left. And the two of them start arguing. And again, we see Assface watching them from behind the walls. Jay leaves to go get Michelle, Ronnie, and so Ronnie and Sandy follow him, but before they get to Michelle, they stop to talk some more. Ryan tells Jay that they're hey, listen, we'll help you look for Ashley. We'll go through the entire house room by room. We'll find her. We'll help you find her. Jay's like, all right, cool, thanks. But I'm gonna get myself a weapon, and then leaves to go find. He gets like this tiny little knife from the kitchen.
It just feels like this scene just goes on, and it is a short movie.
It is a short movie.
Oh my god, they keep repeating scenes.
Yeah,
they repeat like 3 or 4 scenes throughout this whole movie, and I'm like, wait, we already had the same establishment. They might use a little bit different dialogue, but it's in the same room, same blocking, same like shit that's being said, and they do this 3 or 4 times, and it's infuriating.
Yeah, they do. The movie, like you said, I should have said, yeah, the movie's like only like an hour and 3 minutes long, like if that. Like it's a short one. So Jay has Ronnie and Sandy lead him to where they left Michelle, and they find her passed out right where they left her. So they check on her; she's still there. So they leave her there and they move on. Jay takes him to the bathroom where Ashley was. He's like, "Hey, this is where I left her. I took her to this bathroom. This is the last I saw of her." And then they go to the room where Ashley was killed. And Jay says, "Here, this is where the pool of blood was, but it's no longer there." And you can, as when you're watching, you can clearly see that when they actually like cleaned it. Like there's actually a clean spot on the carpet. You can tell someone was cleaned up there. But they don't comment on that at all. They just continue to look around the house, but they never find Ashley. Sandy finds her lip balm in one of the bathrooms. And I was like, "Hey, did one of you guys take this?" And then she applies it, and she freaks out, saying that this isn't strawberry, and ends up pulling like this long black pubic hair from her lips. And says, "It tastes like someone used this on their butthole, and it's all poopy and puby. Ew." So there's that.
I do like her a little bit.
Really?
I like how like ridiculous she is. I like in the beginning how everyone kind of ignores her. She's like, "Hi, I'm Sherry," and no one even fucking looks at her and like responds to her. But she doesn't care. She's like, "Whatever."
Yeah, Michelle does ignore. It's Sandy, but yeah, Michelle.
Sandy. She's okay in my book.
Really, I couldn't stand her. I thought she was the worst of all of them in here. But
hey, man, she's classy.
Yeah, everything makes her horny. She's real classy. The classy thing is an ongoing joke, if you want to call it that, in this movie. But I'm not really going to touch on it that much. At this point, they hear Michelle calling out for them. Sandy offers to go get Michelle, hoping that she has mouthwash with her, because everybody knows realtors are famous for just carrying mouthwash with them at all times. Why would that even be a thing? Like, who would think, oh, she probably has mouthwash with her? Who carries that in their pocket? I don't know. Michelle ends up takes another shot of, out of the booze. And she then goes, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be sick." And so Sandy takes her to the bathroom where Michelle throws up in the toilet, which again looks pretty damn gross and pretty good for a low budget practical effect movie. It's pretty gross vomit. Meanwhile, Ryan and Jay are still going through the house, half-assed, looking for Ashley, but spending more time bitching about the smell than actually looking for the missing girl.
And again, going on and on and on.
I mean, seriously, like 95% of Ronnie's lines in this movie is all just bitching about the smell of the house. That's like all he does in this movie. It gets really annoying really fast. It's like all they got.
It makes a short movie feel long when you're constantly repeating yourself. You're shooting scenes over again. You keep commenting on the same stuff, like, "Well, where's all this mouthwash coming from?" all throughout the goddamn movie. You say the same lines over again at one point. God damn.
Right. So Sandy finds mouthwash in the kitchen, because there's some in the kitchen, along with some breast spray, which she takes back to Michelle, who now Michelle turns into a fucktard and just sprays herself in the eyes with it. Like seriously, it's fucking fucktarded that you can't see that. You can see she's not even like holding it from her mouth and spray. She's literally holding like right in front of her eye and just sprays herself in the eye. Like it's so bad looking. I don't know. I just can't with that. It's the dumbest fucking thing. So we get treated to more Ronnie bitching about the smell. That's all he does. Although, even though Aaron just said, like, it is very repetitive. I will give the writer some credit with trying to come up with new and creative ways to describe the smell, but it comes off, but at the same time, he's also trying too hard. Because some of it's like, yeah, there's only so many ways you can describe a bad smell, and he's trying to be more creative with it, but the more he does it, it's almost becoming counterproductive because it's like they're becoming more ridiculous and more forced than just like
dead hooker queefing on a tuna melt.
Yeah, that's when he says this particular time. It's that exact line. But then there's
I like that one.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best one. But there's others that are just like he's trying too hard to try to keep things coming up with new ways of saying the same thing. But anyway, now for some reason, Michelle asked Sandy to go out to her car and get her a first aid kit because I guess you breath spray in your eye and you suddenly need a fucking first aid kit. Like, just rinse your eye out or something. Put some water on it. Or, God, I don't know. It's just dumb. It's so dumb. Also, this time, Jay and Ryan split up to go gather all their stuff up so they can leave now that the wind has died down. So the windstorm's passed, apparently. It's over. It didn't last very long. Ronnie finds Michelle in the bathroom and tells her, hey, we can leave now, but we have to find Ashley first, and then they should also just get going. Jay gets locked. He's off on his own. He gets locked in some large room. I don't know if it's the garage or something, but it's just a big empty room. He gets locked in it. And he starts hearing farting noises, and he's like, Ashley, is that you? Ashley? And so we go back to Ryan, who's in the living room, gathering up all their stuff, like their coats and stuff. Sandy comes in with the first aid kit, takes it to Michelle in the bathroom. We go back to Jay. He sees Assface's head peek out from around a door, and Assface slams the door closed, which seems to lure Jay closer. He's like, oh my, what's that? Somebody just slammed the door. I better go check that out. So Sandy and Michelle now, Sandy and Michelle come down the stairs for the upstairs bathroom. Excuse me. And Michelle, has her entire, right side of her face and eye, wrapped up like she's, some old, Civil War vet, Civil War soldier, after battle.
God.
It looks fucking ridiculous. Like, the bitch got sprayed with a, breath spray in the eye, and she's coming out like she's got, brain trauma, and, she was, took, a cannonball blew up next to her, and she's all I don't know, a burn.
Yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous.
She took a lead shot to the eye or something.
Yeah,
they have her wrapped up. I mean, there's no blood. There's no nothing.
No,
They
there's
just
no
almost
blood
just
anywhere.
put, a maxi pad over her face and then just threw some tape around it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Jay enters a second bathroom upstairs, and this is where he gets jumped by Assface. Assface throws Jay around, gets Jay down the floor, and mounts him. Assface then reaches over, grabs a shit-covered plunger out of the toilet, presses it down over Jay's face, and starts to plunge his face. Assface plunges Jay's face with a shit-covered plunger, Jay's face and mouth so much that the suction produced by this causes Jay's intestines to come up through Jay's mouth. Assface starts pulling out, him out like a magician pulling the endless scarf gag.
I was going to say the same thing.
Of Jay's, his tested out Jay's mouth, and Jay dies. He's dead. But again, for a micro budget movie, looks pretty good. It does look pretty decent. The intestines, it's fine. It's good for.
And this is where they totally changed the filter. It's all red and grainy film. They completely changed the way they're shooting it. Same thing like they did when Ashley was getting beat up by Assface. They shoot it with a red filter the whole time. Correct. Please let me know. And if you don't know, it's no big deal. Was this shot on an iPhone or an iPad?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know if it's that or just they literally just didn't have proper light, and they were just
because
they were just somebody was blocking the light, the light from they were standing in front of the light, which would cast kind of a glow over the people.
Yeah,
but
it's a filter. It's obviously some kind of filter. And then people walk in the room, they're out of focus for a minute, and then it refocuses. There's a lot of out of focus shots in this movie too.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. What shot? I don't know. I didn't have that information. Ronnie goes at this point. He goes off to find Jay, and when he gets to the bathroom where we saw Jay killed, there's no sign. Jay's gone now. There's nothing there. And now the lights go out in the room. Boop, lights off. Sandy and Michelle rush off to find Ronnie after hearing, because Ronnie's like calling for help. He's like, hey, what happened? The lights are off. Hey, help. They get to that room again that leads to the big open empty one, and the door is locked or it's stuck where they can't open it. And then suddenly the door opens from the other side, and there's Assface right there. Sandy screams, and we cut back to Ronnie. He get his jam door, the door that he was stuck behind, now opens, and he comes rushing out after hearing Sandy screaming. And then the sounds of like blaring like heavy metal music are heard from downstairs. So he runs down to check it out. Finally finds like a radio was turned on. He turns it off and starts calling out for everyone. He's like, hey guys, stop messing with me. Come on, stop joking around. Blah, blah, blah. That song and dance. We go back to Sandy and Michelle. Both of them are tied up to chairs in some room. Sandy's panicking. She's freaking out. While Michelle is staying calm, saying that, hey, maybe we should play nice or something like that. And then Sandy's like, what was that thing? And hearing this pisses off Michelle. And now comes the big reveal / twist. Michelle looks over at Sandy saying, that thing was my son. And now in slow motion, Michelle stands up as the ropes just drop off of her in this over dramatic slow motion shot. It's really it's really ridiculous.
That scene in Sin City when Marv is getting slapped around by the hookers, and he's like, okay, we'll set you free. And he's like, okay, good. He just stands up and the ropes fall off, and like, how'd you do that? I wish we watched Sin City. God damn, I love that movie.
So now Michelle goes into her evil monologue about how no one understands him. She goes to that Assface fell for Ashley. He always falls for the girls, but they never fall for him. She tells Sandy that he's coming back and suggests that Sandy play nice or she might not get a second chance like Ashley did. And then we cut to Assface, who's kissing Ashley's dead lips. But wait! It turns out Ashley isn't dead! Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Ashley wakes up and freaks out. This sets off Assface again, who instantly starts to pummel her in the face again with more hammer fists and just bludgeoning blows. He then just somehow reaches into Ashley's stomach and starts pulling out her intestines. Which, what? Like, he doesn't cut it open. He just like someone like just reaches his hand through her stomach and it starts pulling out of her intestines.
Maybe he is a magician.
Maybe
it is magic. Maybe da 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 da. I've got your stomach and now your guts. I'm going to pull them out right now. Hey, we're here. We're doing the same goddamn kill.
Ashley twitches in pain, but barely reacts to having her fucking intestines pulled out while still alive. She should be screaming her fucking head off like, like that. But she's just like, like that's basically what she's doing in this.
It's so stupid. It's like we've seen the intestine pull through the mouth. That was interesting because, sure, I'll go with suspension of disbelief that this ass mouth man was able to somehow suction out the intestines of a man's mouth and pull it out. Okay, whatever. But then we're doing another intestine pull. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't become a thing.
So once he has all of Ashley's intestines out, he takes them in his hand and he rips a section of them apart. He rips it in half, and then starts like what are those, like a baker's like icing bag. He's squeezing out the shit from the intestines into his. He squeezes the shit out of the intestines into his hands, and then like daps it on himself like a fine perfume. It looks pretty fucking disgusting. I will say that it's pretty damn gross looking. But that's his thing, I guess. So he's covered himself with other people's shit as well. Michelle leaves Sandy. We go back to them and turns off the lights. When they come back on, in like a moment later, Assface is standing behind her with a glob of shit falls on Sandy's forehead, just drips right down on her. Assface leans down and blows Sandy a kiss, and when he blows it, the kiss, we see a fart cloud fart poof is out of his ass mouth, which it's kind of good. I mean, it's kind of
yeah. You must have been that guy whenever you played Primal Rage. Always picked that King Kong or monkey character that would fart and burp and throw up.
You know what? I actually never played. I think I played the game one time, and no, I never did play that because I did think that was stupid in a fighting game. It was like I never played like the drunken kung fu guys who always like burp and do the same burp and fart on everybody in fighting games. Like, I don't know. I never picked those guys either. Anyway, Sandy's trying to hold her shit together. You can see she's trying, and she's trying to play nice, like Michelle suggested, and she's saying, "Oh, that's sweet." And Assface leans in to kisses her on the cheek, leaving a shit smear on the cheek on the spot. And Sandy continues to try to hold it together, saying, "Oh, thank you, I really appreciate it." She's trying to sweet talk Assface. He's like calling him baby. He's like, "Hey, why don't you untie me, baby, so I can caress your face and I can dance with you? I know nobody shows you any affection." And Assface starts like dancing and giving like finger guns. He's like, "Yeah," while moving backwards out of frame. And then the lights go out again. And when the lights come back on, Assface is right in front of Sandy, kisses her on the lips. And based on how this all goes down, all I'm doing is I can just imagine like Michelle must be like in the room, someone like by the light switch, turning it on and off for him, just watching this goes down. Because there's no way how you could move that fast. So Assface notices that Sandy is not enjoying his sweet kisses, and he gets upset. Michelle pops up behind Sandy now, saying that no one loves you like mommy. Sandy's like, "Fuck you, bitch." And Michelle follows up with that saying, "This dirty mouth bitch needs to be cleaned out. In fact, this dirty bitch needs to be cleaned out from both ends." Oh boy. So she then hands Assface a toilet brush and covers Sandy's mouth. And I'm like, oh dear God, where's this going? And Assface forcefully jams the toilet brush up between Sandy's legs. The camera cuts over and pans across a stack of like shelves, so we don't really see at first what's going on. We just hear Sandy's muffled screams, but along with like fart and shit sounds. But then it does cut back to the action, and we see Assface just going to town with this toilet brush like jammed up between her legs. Like he's just like ramming it around up there. Again, kind of
ramming it around.
Pretty fucking brutal and intense to think about. He pulls it out and holds it up in front of Sandy, and we see it's all covered in blood and Michelle pries open Sandy's mouth, and Assface crams the toilet brush down Sandy's throat. And if that's not enough, while she chokes and gags on the toilet brush, Assface then rips out her intestines too, just like Ash, just somehow hand into the stomach, pulls out the intestines. I will say I think the fake intestines must have made up half the budget of this movie, because I will say they do look pretty good for a little bit. The actual intestines look pretty solid. Like we've seen way worse fake intestines in other movies with higher budgets than this, so I will give them credit for that. The practical effects aren't that bad; they're pretty decent.
But they're going back to this gag over and
right.
over.
I'm not arguing that. I agree. It gets repetitive, but I'm saying at least it looks decent. Like it doesn't. Like the intestines don't look that fake. Like we've seen worse.
It doesn't look bad, but when you keep using it over and over, it just becomes. I can't stand it. I can't fucking stand it.
I understand.
You're getting me worked up, Marshall. You're getting me really worked up about this fucking movie.
Don't play. I didn't make it. I didn't make the movie. Don't get worked up at me.
You made me watch this.
Okay, that I did
movie.
do. I did make you watch it. Okay, I did do that. We cut back to Ronnie in the main room where they're all drinking, calling out for Sandy, and then rushing off to look for her. He goes outside for a quick look around, and when he turns around to go back inside, there's Michelle just standing by the back door. She's playing dumb. She's like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but hey, I'll help you go look. So they go back inside together. We're skipping over Ronnie ranting to Michelle, and she starts telling about how she knew about this house. So she says that no one was going to find us, but then the house came up for sale, so she did what she had to do, whatever it took to keep my boys safe. Now, this leads to a very lengthy flashback about how she, like her origin story, but how she found baby Assface in a dumpster while she was homeless on the streets with her homeless lover / companion, Lloyd Kaufman. So that's where he comes in. She takes the baby for her own, since she always wanted one, was never going to be able to have one. And basically she ends up killing Lloyd Kaufman because he kept making fun of the baby, calling it ugly and what the fuck, a thing, and get rid of this thing, it's terrible.
I'm usually happy to see Lloyd Kaufman in any situation whatsoever. But even he couldn't even bring a smile to my face. I'm just like, fuck you, Lloyd. Why would you even be in this?
So, where was I? Oh, so she takes the baby for like, she goes on the move, and she goes on the run at this point. She starts moving. She like hitchhiking. She gets picked up by this nice young woman. And the two of them they're nice. She's very nice to Michelle. And they travel together for a little while. She's holding the baby wrapped up in a blanket. You can't really see him. But then I guess the blanket falls away for a bit, and the woman gets a good look at the baby. And she's like, oh my God, what is it? And then Michelle just kills the woman in the car, just kills her. And after she's dead, Michelle starts going through this woman's stuff and finds the woman's brand new real estate license certificate, and the name on it reads Michelle Perdomo. So she steals this woman's identity, becomes a real estate agent, which is how she found this rundown abandoned house where she could raise her baby in peace and safety until it came onto the market. So of course she had to start killing everyone who wanted to see the house to keep her baby safe. That's the gist of it. That's the cliff notes. That scene goes on for like 20 minutes. It's really long. It's long. Oh, sorry, Aaron, you were about to say something?
You know what? I was going to overanalyze something. Fuck it. Let's just go, baby.
Okay.
I'm not even going to waste time on it.
During the flashback, there is one scene that is particularly fucked up, though. During one of the house showings, Michelle brings this random guy to the basement where Assface kills him. And Michelle says, now finish him like Mama taught you.
Get it? Guess how he kills him.
Well, yes. Assface beats the guy down, like just pummels him to death. Like a crazed rabid Brock Lesnar, ground and pounding Shane Carwin. Then rips out the guy's intestines. Like, we've seen all that. Imagine that. But what happens after that is what's really fucked up and disturbing. So Assface then anally rapes the dead guy while Michelle stands over him watching. And at first she's like, no, you only do that to girls. And she's like, well, okay, equal rights and all. Have fun. You go ahead, baby. Then she starts giving him pointers, telling him, good boy, now do it faster. 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 Then, that's not bad. Then she says to him, look at mommy in the eyes while you finish. Look at mom in the eyes while you finish. God damn, that's fucking messed up. That's dark shit right there. God damn it. That's fucking weird. Although I do want to...
This movie is making fucking Gacy versus Dahmer a fucking masterpiece here.
I do want to say, though, I did get a small chuckle when this guy, right before he gets killed, because he's looking at Michelle, he turns around, and right when he sees Assface behind him, he's like, oh, goddamn. And I don't know why, but just the way he says it made me chuckle just a little bit. I did get a kick out of that. So now we cut back to the present day. And after hearing this story, Ryan just says, what the fuck, lady? And like, which is fine and all. Okay, good response. But he should be either one, getting the fuck out of this house, because she just admits to like murdering everybody. And he can clearly get out of the house now. The windstorm's gone. He's already been outside once. He can clearly leave. But he doesn't. Or he should just start attacking Michelle and just like tackle that bitch down, take her out. But he doesn't. He just lets her continue talking. She even starts walking up the stairs at one point, turns his back and was like, I'm going to go up here now. And again, he's just like, okay, I'm fucking out of here. He follows her. He's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, lady? Like, this is bullshit. What? Blah, 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 blah. Like, are you kidding me? That's your window of opportunity. Get the fuck out or take her out. And he just doesn't. That infuriated me so much. I was so mad at that. But as soon as he gets to the top of the stairs, keep in mind, Michelle's like 6 feet in front when you see the scene in a wide shot. He gets to the top of the stairs and Michelle's just gone. He can't find her. Ryan starts going room to room looking for Michelle, still fucking complaining about the smell the whole time. So at this point, it's gotten so old, it's just annoying. Again, the radio turns on back downstairs, so he runs back downstairs to turn it off one more time. And then he hears another noise coming from another room. He rushes off to check it out. So again, very repetitive. Same steps, same series of events we saw earlier. In this new room, he finds a trap door that leads down to the basement. So of course, he goes down. He finds Sandy's dead body on the floor. Michelle walks up out of the shadows, dragging both Jay and Ashley behind her, saying he's not going to stop her from protecting her boy. And that's when he gets grabbed from behind by Assface, who kind of flings him around, kind of spins him around. And when Ronnie gets a good look at Assface, his reaction is pretty priceless. He's like, "Oh fuck! What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck. Okay, whatever you want, man. Rest in peace, Sandy. I'm out." And he flees. He's like, I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. He's like, "I ain't messing with this. I'm out. I'm gone." So he runs off. Michelle sends Assface after Ronnie. Ronnie manages to escape the house and get to the car, but somehow Michelle, who we just saw down the basement, is now in the fucking back seat, dangling the car keys. How in the blue fuck did she get there so fast? So the only thing that explains this shit is that this movie takes place in Fox's X-Men universe, and that she's a mutant with teleporting powers. That's the only thing that can make sense of this. That's it. Nothing explains this other than that.
Well, no, they borrow from Deep Space Nine, and she has wormhole technology where she can walk through a wormhole and then appear, very much like teleportation, but a little different. Not so much on the fantasy side, but more on the actual metaphysical side, the more scientific side, pardon me. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my explanation.
That's your explanation?
Wormholes, baby, wormholes.
All right. Finally, Ronnie does something right here. He lunges back at her in the backseat and just starts punching the shit out of her. And he gets
these look way more brutal.
These look good. They look solid. He gets the keys, starts the car, it starts right up. So hallelujah for that. He gets the keys, turns around, starts the car up. He's about to drive off when he turns around again and starts wailing on Michelle some more, a few more times for good measure. And again, I did chuckle at this. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this is funny. But when he turns back around again, now there's Assface standing in front of the car. Ronnie tries to do the right thing because he tries to run him over. He tries to start the car, but now Assface has super Hulk strength and is able to hold the car in place. So yes, absolutely, they're both mutants, and this movie is in the X-Men universe. Nothing else explains it at all. Ronnie flees the car. He gets out, he runs, and what he should do is run down the road or down the hill to one of the many other houses in the neighborhood. But nope, he runs back inside the house like a fucktard. And fuck. I just in my notes I said fuck because that's all I have. But as soon as he turns around from locking the door, there's Assface standing right behind him. Like, goddamn! Not only does he have super strength, now he's a teleporter too. Like, what is happening in this? Like, what is going on? Assface grabs Ronnie, throttles him around some, slams him up against the wall, knocks him to the floor, kicks him in the stomach, picks him up, slams him back down. Ronnie tries to spray Assface in the face with air freshener, but it has no effect on Assface, and then Assface counters that by blowing a fart cloud out of his mouth into Ronnie's face. Ronnie then pulls a toothbrush out from somewhere and stabs it into Assface's mouth hole, whatever you want to call it, his mouth anus. Assface pukes out shit all over Ronnie's face. It's disgusting. Then takes a toothbrush, which is covered in shit, and starts trying to brush Ronnie's teeth with it, I guess. It's what's happening. I don't know. Ronnie gets a sudden surge of strength he like powers up or something like that. Like goes Super Saiyan or gets the Bane venom, and he somehow overpowers Ass Face, forces Ass Face to the floor, and starts raining down punches to his ass face, and finishes it off with the old double axe handle strike, and leaving Ass Face out. He's done. Ronnie goes back to the car, gets in. He looks in the back seat and sees that Michelle is gone. But when he turns back to face the front, she's sitting in the front fucking seat next to him. Holy fuck, the teleporting in this movie is so goddamn egregious. This is some of the worst I've ever seen. And we've seen some bad perpetrators of this phenomenon, but Jesus, this is the worst.
I call shenanigans. This is just, it's gotten like fantasy farcical, you know, what are we doing?
Yeah. Michelle lunges at Ronnie and bites into his neck, like this chomps into his neck. Ronnie falls out of the car door. He falls out the driver's seat onto the floor, onto the ground outside. And basically he like dies instantly. As soon as he hits the ground, he's dead. He just bleeds out that fast. Assface pops back up at this point. Michelle tells him to take Ronnie away and clean up because she has another showing of the house tomorrow. Now, at this point, Assface starts having flashbacks of everyone he's killed throughout the movie. Like, we see Ashley and Jay, and we start seeing all these flashbacks of the kills.
They show all the deaths for a long time.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to pad the runtime, but I don't know. I don't understand this, why now of all times, but he has these flashbacks. And seeing that he's not listening to her, Michelle is not very happy about that. So she starts to yell at Assface. She even starts slapping him on the arm and like spanking him, which doesn't sit well with Assface, as he turns on her, grabs her by the neck, forces her up against the car, and then with his other hand, he goes to his go-to move, and that's to rip out her intestines and kills her. So Michelle slides down the car, falls to the ground dead. Assface roars and growls in victory, and then just walks off into the night. Blackout, roll the credits. And then the credits are sliced in with like famous quotes that they just add poop jokes at the end of to try to be funny. So that's the movie, guys. That's it, Moongoons. That is Hellitosis, the Legend of Stank Mouth. With that said, let's go on to favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right, like I said, we've made it pretty obvious. The kills are all incredibly repetitive. But Aaron, you gotta pick one, man. What's the
I don't feel good anymore. Like, I had energy coming into this, and now it's just taking all of my energy just to even try and talk a little bit about this movie. Fuck. I guess I'm going to go with Jay's death, the shit-covered plunger to the face where he plunged out his intestines into his mouth and pulled them out that way. I guess that'd be my favorite kill. Yeah.
All right. Mine is, it's either it's gotta be Jay or maybe Sandy. Even though the intestine pulls get repetitive, I'm looking at the stuff around it. The plunger is kind of messed up too, but poor Sandy got a fucking toilet brush shoved up one of her openings. I don't know if it was the vagina or the ass. We don't really know. But I'm gonna assume it's vagina, and then it's shoved down her mouth, and then her intestines get ripped out. So that's pretty fucking harsh. And I gotta say, both those kills, like Jay and Sandy, are things we have never seen before on this show. I will say that we have not seen either of those. So you gotta give the movie credit for that. But I'm gonna go. I'll say Sandy is probably my favorite death. No, I don't know. It's something more brutal, but Jay's is more visually like entertaining to watch. I'll stay with Sandy. I'll say Sandy. I'll stick there.
All
right. So that brings us to odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right. Ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.2 out of 10.
Fuck you.
Rotten Tomatoes, it's not even on the site. Not there at all.
Good.
And Amazon gives it a 2.4 out of 5.
Way too high.
But that's high for I'm saying that's low for even Amazon. Normally, if you at least crack the 3s.
Nope. Still way too high.
Yeah. Plot keywords. There were 14 plot keywords. The ones I wrote down were disgusting, mouth, underwear, butthole, farts, and poop. Were all plot keywords for this movie. And trivia. So all I could find is that the character Jay, who was played by this guy named Mike Viglione, apparently is also known as the rapper Ubiguous, one half of the rap duo Cescu, CES space CRU, Secru, I don't know. He and his rapping partner Godemus have been signed to a Kansas City independent music label, Strange Records, run by rapper Tech9 since 2012. So that's the only bit of trivia I could find out about this movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now we do get to play the budget game.
They spent how much? The budget game.
All right, Aaron.
Oh, it's the British gal. I miss her. I want to use more of her vocal clips.
Yeah, I can. I'm our old school British chick. I kind of like her too.
I like that one. I was so confused why you went with a British chick, but now I miss her.
Because everybody sounds better with a British accent. That accent just, I don't know.
It's just a little more classy. Even
Yeah,
though I've met
even
a
though
lot
classy
of
here.
shitbag English people.
Yeah, we keep
They
it
still
classy
sound
here.
classy. All right, so no name actors, actresses, obviously done in somebody's house. You know, they just covered places up. They had the same shots over and over and over and over and over and over again. Short movie. Effects were okay. I'm gonna say you had Lloyd Kaufman though, so I mean that might increase it from about $3,000 to $5,000. A couple of different locations because they had the outdoor shots also with the flashback scenes. I'm gonna say these are so hard. These micro budget movies. I'm assuming it's a micro budget movie because I'm gonna say $10,000.
Well, what do I give you this week? You guessed it right on the dot. $10,000 was the budget for this movie. That's not enough. I'll give you one more.
I'll take it, man.
Yeah, you never guessed it right on the dot, man. I gotta give that's bravo.
And I am completely honest. I did not look this up. I didn't want to have anything to do with this movie.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't look it up.
Yeah. No.
All right.
My God.
So, yeah, there we go. So that's bringing us to Mortal Kombat Combat.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad. Right versus wrong. Light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat Combat?
All right, you heard it. Mortal Kombat Combat. 5 stars versus 1 stars. Good, bad, right, wrong. Who will be right? Who's going to be left standing at the end of this? So we start with our 5-star reviews from Brooke. There's only 8 reviews on Amazon total for this movie, so it's going to be pretty quick.
How many 5 stars? How many 1 stars?
It didn't even give me a breakdown of that.
Shit.
But keep in mind, I wrote down all of them, so there's only 8.
Oh God.
I wrote down all the 5 and all the 1. There's only 3 of each, so it's a pretty split. Keep that in mind. That's 6 total of the 8 are split right down the middle. So Brooke B. Rad writes, definitely intriguing. 5 stars. Ashley Bean, the actor that played Stank Mouth, knocked it out of the park. This is graphic but good. LOL. 5 stars. And from Necro G, what a shitty movie. This movie craps all over traditional horror and bequeaths it with Rob Mulligan stank on it. The plot twist is like a titty twister you never saw coming, but loved it like some sick masochist. Sadly, I could take the acting from a guy who played Ronnie only as is. Excuse me. Goddamn. Overall, this is a great independent film, and I can only hope for a number 2. Wah, wah, wah. 5 stars. All right. 1-star reviews from Concerned Person. The movie seems totally improvised, on budget, and not in a good way. The movie quickly becomes tedious and very repetitive. Unfortunately, no fun to be had here. Just a poorly lit slog to get through. This comes across as a new breed of scam. Truly lazy filmmaking. Definitely not worth your time. 1 star. From Gary writes, the zenith of cinematic excellence. 1 star. And Craig A. Brubaker just simply writes, who comes up with this shit? 1 star. That's all there is. I mean, I guess there's 2 others. Like one might have been a 3-star or 2-star, but that was it. That was all the 5-star and 1-star reviews on Amazon right now.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
good point.
Real quick. So, all right, where we fall? Where are we gonna fall on this battle of 5-star, 1-star, good, bad? Aaron, what is your final take on Hellitosis, The Legend of Stank Mouth?
Congratulations, Robert Mulligan. You made a movie that no one wanted and no one asked for. Fuck you. God damn it, this movie is horrible. Gonna say so bad it's scary. Nay, so bad it's shitty. God damn it. Why did I watch this? Like, I would never watch this on my own, ever. And you know what? That's kind of the charm of our show, is that, almost all these movies I wouldn't watch in any time on my own whatsoever. But, there's a couple gems in there. And then there's a couple stinkers. And there's a couple fucking actual physical turds of cinema that come out. And it's fucking Hellitosis, The Legend of Stank Mouth. Fuck this movie. Fuck it in its ass, face, mouth, butthole, whatever it is. I could go on, but I'm just going to stop. I'm done.
Yeah, I think I lost Aaron on this movie, guys. I think I broke him. Like, it's just not the same.
I usually have fun doing the podcast. This I was not looking forward to. I'm just like, this sucks. I'd rather just hug my baby and cry.
All right. For me, so bad it's good.
You son of a bitch.
With an asterisk by it. It's not a good movie. Everything Aaron said, I can't argue against that. It is bad. Everything about it is bad. The acting's bad. The lighting's bad. The writing, the acting, directing, it's all bad. But the practical effects are better than I expected them to be for this movie. Like, it's a lot better than I was like, okay, the intestines look decent. The poop effects look properly disgusting. The blood, it's fine from a practical effects standpoint. I did get a few chuckles here and there, but is it a good movie? No. Should it be watched? Probably not. But it's so different. It's such you're never gonna see anything like this out there. So in that aspect, I say it's worth watching at least once. Plus, if it was longer than Nope, it's like an hour, if that. Like, it's barely 60 minutes. So it's short. You can get through it. It's free. And like I said, you will never see anything like this again, ever. So I say it's worth a watch one time, just to say you've experienced this weird-ass piece of shit, and then literally flush it down the toilet. So I would say it's so bad it's good for one watch, and then discard it with your wet wipes. And
do not listen to Marshall Hampton on this. I implore you, if you have any sense of decency for yourself and your family, you will not watch this. You will ignore this and let it flush down the toilet bowl of life.
All right, guys. we're split this week. But that was fun. I had fun. I don't know about Aaron, but I'm glad.
Have fun. I did not have fun.
I'm glad we finally got through this movie, though. I can take it off my watch list. I can just move on from it. But on a happy note for Aaron, that means now we move into our Christmas horror movies. Our month of Christmas horror movies starts now, and we'll be. So look out for those. Look forward to those coming out.
I'm smiling now.
Yeah, Aaron's happy now. So I didn't give him the bad before I give him the good.
Yeah, I feel like you're just trying to like okay, how can I kick Aaron in the nuts before he's so happy for a month? This one, because I know you're not the biggest Christmas guy. You're not a big fan of the holiday. I personally am. So I think this is your little fuck you before I start the holiday season.
Maybe subconsciously it was.
I gotta give you applause for that one. I mean,
all right,
you picked out a stinker.
Literally.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. You know what? If you're still listening and you want to support the show, I appreciate it. Please check out our Patreon page. We need, all the extra help and love we get from you guys is really much appreciated. So that would be awesome. If not, anyway, thanks for listening. Just spread the word. Keep doing it. So in the meantime, guys, you know what to do. Watch more horror movies, and remember to always keep it tight.